Come on in, sit back and relax. You're listening to the Wealth Tech Today podcast. And I'm your host, Craig Iskowitz, founder of Ezra Group Consulting. And this podcast features interviews, news, and analysis on the trends and best practices around wealth management technology. Our guest for this episode was Blake Wood, Head of Platform Strategy at Envestnet. Disclaimer before we go on, we have at Ezra Group have worked with Envestnet on some strategic consulting projects in the past, but we're not talking about any of those in this particular episode, but just wanted to put that out there. Some of the things that we spoke about include the evolution of managed accounts, how Envestnet is moving forward on unified managed accounts platform and handling alternative investments. We talked about how they're unifying their client experience across their multiple platforms, which we think is a great thing. And we talked about AI and data solutions and how they're focusing on AI-driven tools like generative BI and insights AI to help advisors streamline data interpretations and provide personalized recommendations. And speaking of AI and data solutions, if your firm is struggling to make your data work across your wealth management platforms, Ezra Group can help. We can deliver on data strategy, architecture, integrations, so your advisors and clients get actionable insights, not fragmented reports. If you want to free your firm for exponential growth, you need to run, not walk, to our website, ezragroup.com, and click the golden Contact Us button on the homepage. With the speed that AI is moving, you need Ezra Group to help you go beyond proof of concepts to real advisor productivity tools, predictive analytics, and personalization. We know how to align AI with the realities of your business and your data. We don't just advise, we design, build, and deliver. You can learn more at ezragroup.com. And now, standard housekeeping chores. Please subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. Go look at up our sponsor, the Invest in Others Charitable Foundation at investinothers.org. And if you are a software provider in the wealth tech space, please go to our vendor portal, ezragroup.com/register, and register your product with our team so we always have up-to-date integration data and your wealth tech integration score is always accurate. All right. Now, let's kick this thing off. All right. I'm excited to introduce our next guest. It is Blake Wood, Head of Platform Strategy from Envestnet. Blake, how you doing, man?
Good, sir. How you doing?
I'm happy to see you. It's good. It's been a couple months since I saw you at the conference. How you been?
Yes, sir. And I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to a great summer. Yourself?
The same. It's all good. I mean, it's a nice time of year here in New Jersey. So I'm looking forward to some good weather and maybe hitting the beach.
Excellent.
So everyone knows Envestnet. I'm going to skip the 30-second elevator pitch, but it's been about, as you mentioned, 8 months since the Bain acquisition. That was the biggest news, some of the biggest news of 2024. How have things been since then?
Been good. We spent a lot of time with the Bain team, understanding the resources that they're bringing to us or able to bring to us, and helping them have a deeper understanding of the different avenues or channels that we can lean into and double down. So this summer, we're wrapping up that project of what we call the value creation plan, and I have identified some areas and going to start communicating that externally, hopefully later this year, of where we're going to make some investments into to really grow our platform and capabilities.
We like to see that. We got a lot of our clients are on the Envestnet platform, so I know they are anxiously awaiting the benefits from going private and not having a quarterly pressure, not having activist investors breathing down your neck, right? So things got to get better. We got to see more faster movement, right? I'm sure there's a lot of pressure to fail fast and get features out the door.
Yeah, there's that, but there's also the acknowledgement of being private now and having that longer view. We can do a lot of the work. I'll call it, internal maintenance and cleaning up in the house of putting all those capabilities together in a more meaningful way than we had, because the various platforms we had been very good at what they've done, but now's the time to take the time to put those capabilities in a more integrated way. So we're supporting more of a singular wealth platform and singular planning platform, but also bringing those together in a really neat journey for the prospects, the clients, the advisors in the home office.
Gotta love that. And that's something that you are one of the few companies that have access to all of those areas of the business, right? You cut across all areas, including and especially the home office, where you're very strong when it comes to scaling. And one area that we have dinged you guys a little bit over the years is integrations and all the different platforms that you guys own. But I know you've made a lot of progress in bringing everything together. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's been a challenge where we've got great integration partners say, "Hey, Envestnet, we want to integrate with you. How do we do it?" Like, "Hey, we've got a Tamarack platform, we've got our enterprise platform, we've got a Money Guide platform. Which one do you want to go to?" And the answer is usually all three of those. And so as we start unifying the capabilities, hopefully it's going to be, or not hopefully, it will be less than three different integration paths. It'll likely be, two as we look at the wealth side and the planning side, but we're looking at opportunities with the Envestnet data solutions team as that may be a great singular place for integration partners because it has insights to provide nudges out to them. If, hey, you've got a high cash balance sitting at XYZ bank. Do you want a high yield savings account? Little nudges like that where we can help the advisor through a centralized AI capability to help generate more transactions, if you will, volume flow to our partners. So we're really excited about that. And as you mentioned, we do have a breadth of integration. It's well over 100 in Money Guide. I think we're close to 200 across the wealth side. And so it's not necessarily going a whole lot broader than that, but how can we be more intentional and deeper with the ones that we have? And then, where there are some new innovations, let's plug and play into those.
Driving volume flow to partners. I know a lot of firms would enjoy that. They would really appreciate volume. But when it comes to bringing everything together, will we see more of a seamless experience for advisors? So you mentioned that the data solutions team, I saw some very interesting demos from them at the conference, specifically around how they're surfacing more analytics and more data-driven advice. Can you talk a little bit about how what things we might be seeing in the next 6 to 12 months?
Absolutely. So as you saw, in the last couple of years, we brought together a unified client portal across the wealth platforms, looking to bring Money Guide into that as well. The next step for us was on the data and analytics platform, where we are bringing, the insights and AI capabilities to the advisors, to the home offices, and regardless of what entry point you have on the wealth or planning side, it is the same platform you're engaging with. And what we're taking that with the next level is we've talked about Report Studio. And Report Studio is one of the things I'm really excited about. We're going from a POC product in the next 6 to 12 months to really a professionally leveraged enterprise capable product that goes from beyond a PDF report builder to an online report builder and starts being able to help the advisor and firms they work for deliver unique dashboards for them and their personas, whether I'm home office, a relationship manager, or an advisor in the field, bringing in the analytics and insights into that, bringing money guide data into that, and then for the end investor, enabling firms to craft what today is typically two separate reports wherever you go. You have your financial planning output, you have your investment performance reporting output. We can bring those together and let firms build their own report templates with both the planning and the investment data side by side or intermingled as they see fit. And so we're really excited about being able to consolidate our own data and third-party data into these customized dashboards, widgets, and tools, and PDF reports and online reports for clients.
I like that as well. Now, at the conference, made a bunch of notes, which I posted on LinkedIn about data management and what I liked about it. One thing I noticed that Jeremy Carnell said that data solutions are ranked number two in your sales pipeline, right behind PMC. How does that change the way your products, the product roadmap, now that data solutions have become such a in-demand product?
It really changes the adoption and engagement patterns with the advisors and the home office. As we think about, the two tools that we've launched, the Gen BI tool, the Insights AI tool, it's designed to streamline data interpretation and enhance that advisor decision making. as we think about the Gen BI capabilities, it enables those natural language queries for client and performance data, generates the real-time visual dashboards and charts with built-in explainability about, where the data came from, how do we build the charts. And then all that is powered by integration with OpenAI's large language model. And then you get into Insight AI features where, it builds on Envestnet's existing Insight engine, which is already delivering 25 million plus daily recommendations. Start using agent-based AI to understand advisor intent and suggest high impact actions. And it starts acting like a personal AI research assistant, constantly learning and adapting. And our kind of strategic vision for that is this broader effort to simplify access to insights, reduce friction in data analysis, and create this AI enhanced wealth ecosystem and enable firms to embed custom content to personalize that to elevate the advice intelligence. And that's where, I think you've talked about this previously is AI helps offload a lot of the work and the click that not just the advisor, but their staff are doing on a daily basis. And if we can unlock and free that time, the way that they can engage with their clients and their prospects is going to only increase the top of funnel conversion, help drive wallet share, help drive more solutions that we're supporting those families with because we're able to take the time to explore those dreams and values of the families to deliver more solutions to help them. And so we see this as being able to increase the volume, I hate to call them transactions, but the volume of things that the advisors and their teams will be able to do because the AI and the platform is servicing more of that back end work and the middle office work as well.
You jumped a little bit ahead of my carefully scripted podcast here. When you talked about Report Studio, I wanted to get into that a little bit later, but so we can do it now. I really liked what Jeremy was showing, whereas these reporting tools and my background as a computer science major, and then spending many years as a business analyst working with BI tools, and especially the larger ones, working at large banks with huge amounts of data, is it's so difficult to find what you want. There's a million data points. There's a million SQL tables, and trying to remember which table to join to get the right output is impossible. And you wind up cribbing all these notes and getting rumors from friends. Hey, I heard about this table. If you hit it this way and with this, you get this, right? So, especially with your tools, again, you're reaching that level where there's so many widgets and so many different, you built so much out of this, which is great. I can build almost any custom dashboard I want, but the learning curve is tremendous. Now, showing that AI, where I can tell the AI, here's the kind of dashboard I want, it'll pull in the right widgets for me, seems amazing. Does it really work? Is this live? And how is that going to make it better for the back office and the ops people?
Yes, and yes. And you're 100% right. I'm laughing internally to myself because years ago, I'm going back to Jeremy and our team now saying, look at all the stuff that we did years ago. And it was, we were creating our own little data warehouse on the side. We had a team of data analysts figuring it out and doing all the SQL queries and then filtering things out. And it was weeks and weeks of back and forth and trying to massage the data that now using our team's tool, it's like, hey, grid agent, create this for me. I want to understand all my clients who hold this and this that live here. And it'll create something and it'll tell you how it got it, and then you can continue to refine it. So it's no longer building out these different grids of tables and data or trying to figure out where to go get the data. The tool's servicing up. So we have it out. It's in a production environment now, going through beta testing. It is super exciting to think about how advisors can do this to understand their business, but for the home office, the queries that you can imagine compliance has randomly because they've got FINRA or OCC or SEC coming in, being able to pull all that in a real easy way without having to do a custom query or call to
Mhm.
Envestnet and set those reports so you can get them whenever you need. We're really excited about the capability for our users, but also for ourselves being able to play with these capabilities to really expose a lot of the insights of why and how advisors are behaving certain ways, and same for the client families that they serve, and how can we support them better in their various different journeys and personas.
You threw out a couple of interesting statistics I wanted to pull in. I wanted to double click on. 25 million daily recommendations. Are those all AI driven, or are they rules engine driven recommendations?
They are a mix of both. There's some that firms will set up or ask us to set up that are kind of very traditional cash buffer over here, so configurable. And then the other larger chunk, and I think it continues to grow, be AI driven versus rules based. But there is a section of rules based for sure.
Something Jeremy said in his presentation at Elevate. Advisors using Envestnet Insights drove 3.7 billion in AUA versus 1.8 from non-users, 108% lift. Is that a real number? And how did they do that?
Yeah, it is real and one of the super exciting things for the firms that work with us as they look to convert brokerage to advisory. And so we had the a handful of partners that leaned into us in those early days. So this can is only exponential growth potentially beyond this of as we look at those brokerage assets, are they underperforming? Is there concentration? Is there tax opportunities that we can move them into, managed account implementation and give the client and the advisor better outcomes for that. So it's those looking at misaligned risks, looking at tax opportunities, concentration of holdings, things like that, and then nudging the advisor and giving them the easy button that kind of says, hey, convert from brokerage to managed.
Nice. Uh, there was a press release from Envestnet called Envestnet reveals top AI-driven insights for advisors in 2024, which came out in January. And this was including major themes dominating the landscape for both enterprise advisors and registered investment advisors. So one of the things that you just mentioned, addressing underperforming products was number one. Number two was optimized tax loss harvesting, three, flag high fee products, and so forth. Will the system um, create like a next best actions for the advisor saying, hey, you need to do this. You've got these underperforming products and alert him or her? Or is it something that's going to sit there and not do it until the advisor says, well, hey, do we have any underperforming products? Because those are two very different scenarios.
Yeah, absolutely. No. So there is today alerting that happens as you think about those top 10 to the advisor. There's also, something we have on the roadmap with the AI tool is being able to say, hey, I'm going to go meet with Craig later today. Can you tell me, the top things to talk to Craig about today? So instead of looking at different dashboards, it can be contextualized within the family. And it may be the better use case is really, I'm going to go meet with Craig in a week. What are the top things I need to talk about? Generate that and then come back and play, hey, write me an email to send Craig ahead of the meeting for anything I want Craig to come prepared to talk about or bring some extra documents to. So if we can help make that advisor be more efficient in their meeting prep as well, it's a win for everyone.
We like win-win here. Let me tell you, here on the Wealth Tech Today podcast, we like a win-win scenario. Nearly three quarters, 72% of advisors plan to incorporate AI into their practices within the next 3 years, according to a recent Cerulli report. So understanding that everyone's moving at a breakneck pace to get into AI, what are some of the other things that you're planning around across wealth and planning to put AI, not just to squeeze it in or to shove it in, like, hey, we can do AI here, it'd be cool, but does it really? There's a great one of our partners here, Kristen Schmidt from RIA Oasis. One of her favorite sayings that I repeat all the time is, "Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because we can shove an LLM in here or some AI tool doesn't mean we should do it. How are you deciding where and when to put AI across your vast holdings of wealth and planning tools?"
I'd say we're being conservative in our approaches as you think about delivering advice being a line that we're not and the industry is not ready to cross. We've been investing in I'll call it the back end of Envestnet. So how do we leverage AI to help us QA the platform, develop code, deploy code, and do integration? So how can we help scale
Mhm.
the inside of Envestnet? And then we've got, as we talked about, the Gen AI and the Insights AI tool. So take all the data we have and present it to our firms and their advisors in a more meaningful way. And we're starting to plug in with the different, as you know, you had a post on LinkedIn a couple weeks ago about all the different AI recording tools that are fantastic. I think it is a quite a crowded field. It's not one we need to get into, but being able to lean in with those and marry that with the financial planning data that we have, with the investment data that we have, can really kind of supercharge that real holistic view of the conversations and the history of those families. So we're looking at some additional partnerships with firms like that because I don't think that's something we need to own. And then also looking at different ways on the planning side. How can we create different optimization capabilities or solvers for our families as we want to make clients or prospects help deliver plans for themselves. Because one of the challenges we have is the time advisors believe it takes to do a plan. So, how can we have a consumer-driven planning tool that, as they're going through it, is presenting them little insights or next best steps for them? Not necessarily advice, but say, hey, you've said you've got a child that is X years old. Do you have a 529 can plan? Do you want to add it to your plan? Those sorts of little things to help enrich plans to make them better and help a prospect or a client go through some of that initial plan creation and be able to update plans over time, putting more of the planning to the investors that want to do it and advisors that want to enable it. So the advisors can have a deeper plan and higher level engagement from their planning clients.
I like it. I like to hear that. Um, let's moving on from that. Let me just double check our time. Okay, we're good on time. The I want to talk a little bit about the other press release you guys had out about the generative business intelligence solution. Is that different than the other data insights we're talking about, or is it part of the same thing?
Part of the same thing. It's that the generative BI is the ask the business question in plain English to the platform, get those charts and dashboards back. It's that, the build own dashboards without consultants on our side consulting you. The AI can guide you through
Mhm.
setup, exploration, interpretation, and be able to real time deploy that across your firm or your branch.
That would be nice. I like that as well. Can we talk a bit about client experience? So this is something that we're very high on, and making sure that it is seamless and all the data is brought in properly, because the clients can be very picky, and the issues around that can be serious. And it's more than just the client portal. So what are you doing around the client portal? You guys have two client portals. You have the enterprise client portal, and you have the Tamarack client portal, and also client dashboarding. So how are you unifying all of that? What are you doing, looking to expand and enhance that? So what are some things we can expect coming down the pike in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, so we've worked to have a single unified client portal. We're moving some Tamarack clients over, implementing them. The enterprise clients have all adopted this new unified client portal. It has embedded into that portal all the money guide capabilities you'd expect, the probability meter, their snapshot view. You can launch into play zone and have the interactivity. So across our wealth and planning capabilities, there's one investor or family experience that can be enabled and they can interact with all of that data in real time. Where we're also extending that to for our planners and for the wealth side of the business is I'll call it a prospect flow. And it is having, whether it's a cold lead coming into your website or maybe a warm lead coming into your website, you're sending a link out before a meeting, it lets that family or that prospect start engaging with the tool. Hey, do I want to engage with a risk tolerance process? Do I want to load up some documents or aggregate some accounts and start a financial plan so that when you go in and have that first meeting with your advisor or the team that you're working with, it can be a heck of a lot more productive than, look at me, I'm a really smart advisor and you're a really great client, but now here's a whole bunch of stuff to go fill out. So it makes that first meeting better by enabling that prospect workflow, data capture, and beginning that onboard hub that the investor can live in, whether they start as a planning only client with you because they're younger, not ready for full advice, if you will, and then graduating on up to a full advice, they can continue to have one login, one experience, and us being able to bring in all of that data to them uh, helps unify that experience. So we're not, pushing them off to, as you've seen, and I'm sure many of your engagements, a lot of advisors have 4, 5, 6, or more logins from their client login link on the website.
Exactly. That's been the bane of some of our clients' existence for many years. It's something we've been working on, trying to unify, or beating up you guys and your competitors
There.
to unify, right? More likely, because I was working on an article I didn't never finished. It was called "Don't Bring Me Another Client Portal," which was a direct statement from an enterprise client that we were meeting with because they had so many, right? You've got your they've got your financial planning portal. You may have your CRM portal. You can have your portfolio management portal. Every custodian's got a portal. Insurance applications have portals, so that you've got so many. So I thought you guys would surely have this solved by now. So I'm a little disappointed you're just getting around to it, but happy to
It
see that you're combining, at least combine the Tamarack and the enterprise portals. When do you think that'll be done?
So we've got clients across both using it today. There's
Mm.
call it the long tail of just moving some firms over on the R in the RA space side of the business. And to your point about unifying more, funny enough, it's almost like if we could have reversed the order of operation and done Report Studio and had that foundation done first, that could enable the really cool build your own, bring in all sorts of data into one unified client portal. But we started with the client portal first and then did Report Studio. So as we get the tooling and capabilities built out on Report Studio, I would not be surprised for us to start leveraging that for an end investor portal. We can start having firms build their own experiences using our tooling and having access to all the data.
And you've got so much data, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
As we've been talking about, just tremendous amounts of data. All right, so getting close to the end here, there's a couple more questions I wanted to ask you. How does all this play out, and what's the relationship between this and some of your core managed account program that you guys are known for, like unified managed accounts? So, what are you doing around UMA? How is that going to change? Is that still the core of the managed account business for you? Do you see anything coming down the pike that's going to make it different?
Yeah, absolutely. It is the core. What we're seeing more and more is firms are looking at UMA as the chassis going forward. It's no longer having, a rep as PM program, a mutual fund wrap program, a separately managed account program. The upside of having that single contractor client agreement, if you will, in a UMA program is the ultimate consolidator tool and having one way that things can be processed for the advisors for the home office. So the growth in UMA continues as we start seeing one of the data challenges is the alternative data. As you know, there is a massive amount of growth and interest in alternatives, illiquid alternatives beyond just the 40 Act funds. And that's where you're going, traditionally off platform and you're buying a liquid product here or there. And then you've got the challenge of the depth and breadth of the custodial feed and reporting on what is the value. And you see changes happen in those almost daily. And we know those things reported, only every 30 days or so. So how can we consolidate these held away illiquid alternatives into a UMA or UMH and trade around them? So we're making a big investment in an advisor traded sleeve technology that we've had for some time, but it's been more of a put your advisor model as part of the UMA. Now it's how are we sharing discretion? And it's sharing discretion across at least potentially three entities with the fixed income traded sleeve by a fixed income manager, the models being delivered and traded by Envestnet, and then an advisor coming in and trading his or her own positions, or where our first step is going to be is drop that illiquid position in there and we'll start trading around it, whether it's an interval fund or truly an illiquid, VC private equity fund. So we're really excited about that. There's a lot of demand coming in for that. But of course, that next step is then take that same process and capability of different trade discretions and levels at a sleeve level and extend that to account because the household is really the new account. The UMA, as you know, is a single account technology, which is great, but the household is the new account. And so, how can we have that deep household level modeling, tax aware rebalancing that reflects the real world capabilities of modern wealth management, which we've had in spades and have in spades on Tamarack, but bring that in with the managed account capability, alternatives capability into one modeling and execution engine, which is what we're really excited about. The best of a breed in Tamarack, where it's advisors trade their own with what I'll say is the best in breed on the Envestnet enterprise platform into one core capability for advisors to deliver that household with multiple trade discretion.
And that has been a little knock on you guys as well, was the rep as PM trading, right? That uh, we were constantly screaming, make it better, make it better. Why can't you be like these guys? And you're finally kind of getting there. Do you see that as being a major? It's a kind of flying under the radar. You don't hear a lot about it because of all the AI tools, but I think something like that, finally getting robust rep as PM tools, could be a major door opener for you guys at a lot of firms maybe you didn't have access to.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think absolutely for sure there has been, as we've seen our clientele come together. We've got our really large enterprises and RAs that have grown from kind of mid-sized to really large
Hmm.
RAs, in many cases are as big or bigger than some of the broker dealers. And in the private wealth space, if you will, the broker dealers, they want the capabilities of the Tamarack modeling and trading tool, but they want it within an enterprise construct. So I want risk, I want oversight, I need the hierarchy support. And we're seeing on the RIA side, they don't want to let go of what they have with Tamarack, but they want the risk rules, the managed account support. And so it's a perfect storm for us. And having gone private gives us a space to start putting those things together in a more meaningful way. Because one of the other things that I'm interested to see what will happen over time is and we're seeing some of these tools out there now that's AI to help advisor build the world's best portfolio.
Hmm.
I'm very suspicious of it at the moment, but will we see um, a growth in more APM-like capabilities because they are supported by these AI platforms that say they can help build a better portfolio than Manager X, and they'll do it for make up a number 2 basis points instead of 20 basis points.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm suspicious of that as well. That always said it's one of my pet peeves of people who are posting that we can do it. No one else can, just us, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
So last quick question in 30 seconds. What do you see as the biggest opportunity or impact that AI will have across the industry?
I think it is really, we've talked about this for years, but this is what gives us scale. Giving the advisor and their employees time back to really engage in the families that they serve, because I think there is a lot left on the table with the time advisors have to do to manage serving 100 families and the low value stuff that AI can start servicing. If we can start engaging with the families, your organic growth is going to go up. Your fees are going to go up because one, we see a lot of advisors underpricing and they're scared to bring their fees up. You can bring that up and service them better, and they're not going to go anywhere. So increase advisor revenue, increase referrals and retention because they're able to sit there with the family and engage with them in a different way because they've offloaded a lot of the work to AI and outsourced platforms like ourselves.
It's going to be more and more outsourcing to AI. Everyone's going to be doing it. Blake, we are out of time, man. Thanks so much for being here. You guys want to find more information about Envestnet, go to envestnet.com.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
That's us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Craig again. My top three takeaways from this episode. Uh, Managed account evolution. So Envestnet is enhancing their UMA platform, particularly around handling alternative investments and providing more flexibility for trading discretion across different investment sleeves and household level modeling. Speaking of trading, they're also enhancing their Rep as PM trading tools, which I ding them a little bit on. We've had issue with their trading tools for many years. One of the reasons why we think they bought Folio Dynamics so long ago was to get access to their trading tools. So we're happy to see them enhancing their Rep as PM trading tools finally, because it's really going to help out some of our clients. Number two, unified client experience. As I mentioned in the podcast, the number of client portals that are all over the place just really is a pet peeve of mine. I really want them to be unified and down to just one. Everyone should have only one portal that can do everything. Envestnet is trying to do that, specifically consolidating their Tamarack and their enterprise platform portals. Also, reporting tools and data platforms are also consolidating to create a more seamless experience for advisors and investors, reducing the complexity of multiple logins and disconnected systems. Looking forward to that. And finally, AI and data solutions. Envestnet's focusing on AI-driven tools, like Generative BI and Insights AI to help advisors streamline data interpretation, provide personalized recommendations, and improve efficiency in managing client portfolios. As you heard us mention, I really like how they're layering AI on top of their report builders and dashboard builder tools. It's great to have a tool that I can build my own dashboard, but with 100 or 200 widgets, I don't know which one to use, how to set it up, how to configure it. There's lots of tweaks. And when you put up a widget, there's all these different options and configurations and linkings. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to say, hey, AI, build me the portal I want. Here's my role. Build me the best portal or the best dashboard. And it looks like they can do it, at least in the demos I saw. Hopefully that'll be live soon. I think that'll be a huge step forward for improving operational efficiency in the back office. All right, you've reached the end of another episode of the Wealth Tech Today podcast. Thanks for listening. But before you go, head to our website, EzraGroup.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage, and sign up for our newsletter. Once a month, you'll receive an email chock full of wealth management goodness, news, information, and updates. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again for listening, and talk to you all again next time.